If there's one place on Earth that seems to have cracked the code to long life, it's Okinawa, a small Japanese island with one of the world's highest populations of centenarians. People here don't just live longer, they live better. So, what's their secret? It's not a miracle supplement or a cutting-edge therapy. It's 4 timeless habits, a way of eating, connecting, living, and believing that keep Okinawans thriving well past 100. Today, we're uncovering all 4. Let's begin with the first, their diet.
The Okinawan rainbow diet.
Let's start with what's on their plate. Okinawans follow what's often called the rainbow diet, colorful, plant-based, and naturally low in calories, but high in nutrients. Every meal looks like a vibrant mosaic of purples, greens, yellows, and oranges, because they believe variety is vitality. Their staple isn't rice, but sweet potatoes, rich in complex carbohydrates and antioxidants. Add to that tofu, bitter melon, miso soup, seaweed, and green tea, and you get a diet packed with fiber, vitamins, and polyphenols that fight inflammation and aging. What they don't eat is just as important. Meat and fish appear in small portions, more as side dishes than main courses. Sugar is used sparingly, and processed foods are nearly absent. The result is a diet that keeps blood sugar steady, supports gut health, and reduces the risk of chronic diseases, all without strict dieting or calorie counting.
The power of Hara Hachi Bu.
Okinawans don't just eat differently, they eat mindfully. At the heart of this mindful approach, a Confucian principle that means eat until you're 80% full. It's simple, but powerful. By stopping before feeling stuffed, Okinawans give their bodies enough time to process what's already in the system, like letting the machine finish its current cycle before loading in more, a quiet act of wisdom that keeps the rhythm of life smooth and steady. Modern science backs this up. Eating slightly less reduces oxidative stress, lowers insulin levels, and promotes cellular repair. This small act of restraint, repeated at every meal, adds up to decades of better health.
Moai, the science of belonging.
In Okinawa, the recipe for long life has 2 main ingredients: nourishment for the body and nourishment for the soul. That second ingredient comes from connection. Every Okinawan belongs to what's called a Moai, a small circle of lifelong friends bound by trust, laughter, and responsibility. It's not just a social club, it's a chosen family. Members meet regularly, check in on each other, share meals, and even contribute money to a shared fund for times of need. Imagine growing old, knowing that no matter what happens, illness, loss, or loneliness, there's always someone who's got your back. That security alone is medicine. Modern research now validates what Okinawans have lived for centuries. Loneliness kills faster than poor diet or lack of exercise. In fact, studies show that people with strong social ties have a 50% higher chance of living longer than those who are isolated. Social connection lowers stress, strengthens the immune system, and reduces the risk of heart disease and dementia. To put it more scientifically, a study from UCLA showed that social bonding reduces the production of cortisol and inflammatory markers like interleukin-6, both linked to accelerated aging. In animal models, chronic isolation has even been shown to shorten telomeres, the protective caps of DNA that preserve lifespan. So when Okinawans gather daily to share tea, laughter, or stories under the banyan tree, they're not just socializing. They're engaging in a biological ritual of preservation. Their friendships keep their immune system strong, their hearts steady, and their minds sharp. Even in their 90s, Okinawans wake up with a sense of belonging, someone to talk to, someone to laugh with, someone who needs them. Because in Okinawa, longevity is not a solo pursuit, it's a team effort.
The quiet force of purpose.
The scientists studying Okinawa found that longevity here is not just physical, it's deeply psychological. At its core is Ikigai, a Japanese concept meaning a reason for being. It's the quiet force that gets you out of bed in the morning, the spark that gives life meaning beyond mere survival. For some, Ikigai might be tending to a garden, fishing at sunrise, or teaching the next generation. For others, it's simply caring for grandchildren or sharing a story that outlives them. It doesn't have to be grand. It just has to be yours. In Okinawa, there's no word for retirement. People don't stop working because they've reached a certain age. They simply shift towards something that gives them joy and purpose. That ongoing sense of usefulness keeps both the mind and the body young. Science backs this up powerfully. A 2019 study published in JAMA Network Open found that people with a strong sense of purpose had a lower risk of death from all causes, including heart disease. In The Lancet reported that older adults with higher life purpose scores showed slower cognitive decline and reduced inflammation. When the brain feels needed, it keeps signaling the body to thrive. Dopamine levels stay balanced, cortisol remains in check, and cellular repair mechanisms work more efficiently. Take the example of Stephen Hawking. When doctors told him he had only 2 years to live, he was 21. He had ALS, a disease that slowly locks the body in paralysis while leaving the mind untouched. Defying every medical prediction, Hawking went on to live for more than 50 years after that diagnosis, continuing his research, teaching, and writing until his death at the age of 76. He spent decades trapped in a wheelchair, unable to move or speak without assistance, yet his ideas moved the world. From black holes to the origins of the universe, his brilliance burned through every physical limit. Hawking once said, "My expectations were reduced to zero when I was 21. Everything since then has been a bonus for him. Ikigai was the pursuit of knowledge itself, a purpose so powerful it kept his body alive long after science had written him off." Ikigai is not about ambition or achievement. It's about harmony between what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what gives you peace. And that harmony seems to ripple through every Okinawan life. A life so full of meaning, it naturally becomes long. What's truly remarkable about Okinawan longevity isn't just how long they live, it's how well they live. Even in their 90s, you'll find people tending gardens, sharing laughter over tea, or dancing under the morning sun. Their bodies may age, but their hearts never retire. In a world chasing quick fixes and miracle diets, Okinawa offers a timeless reminder: eat mindfully, stay connected, live with purpose. Because real longevity isn't about adding years to your life, it's about adding life to your years. If this story inspired you, there's more where it came from. At Vital Beyond Years, we explore the secrets, science, and stories that help us live not just longer, but better. Subscribe and join us on this journey toward a healthier, more meaningful life. Because vitality isn't measured in years, it's a way of being.